The year 2024 has seen substantial growth at the Entebbe International Airport and the aviation sector in Uganda. Tonight, we examine what has been achieved, what was promised, and what was delivered. Mr. Bamwesigye Fred, the Director General of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, is here to give us some insight on the matter. Mr. Bamwesigye, welcome to Talk of the Nation.
Thank you, Idris. Thank you very much.
All right, to start the conversation, let's talk about the anticipated plans of 2024. What has been achieved at Entebbe?
First of all, I want to wish you a happy new year and to welcome you back from the celebrations of the festive season. On behalf of Uganda Civil Aviation Authority. I was here some 9 months ago, and I was telling the Ugandans and other aviation users that we pledged to expand aviation facilities on our airports, but we also pledged to comply with international and global standards in both aviation security and aviation safety. I also pledged that we shall actually try to modernize aviation facilities with state-of-the-art technologies that are available in the country but also on the globe, and to increase our relations with other aviation establishments, especially the global aviation authorities. And I will tell you that we did very well as far as compliance of the industry is concerned. And really that is our biggest achievement of the year. So we are expanding, as you have just said, Entebbe International Airport, both departure and arrival of Entebbe International Airport terminal building. You can see even we are expanding the terminal to some 20,000 square meters of terminal, which we should open in earnest in June 2025.
Among the pledges that you made were to complete cargo houses and lounges. How far is that progress?
Of course, we completed first phase cargo building, state-of-the-art technology for cargo storage, and of course cargo facilitation for movement.
And on that note, talking of improvement, the era that we are in nowadays is about technology. And you mentioned earlier that one of the pledges that you made was to improve the technology that is being used at the international airport at Entebbe. What are some of the new out-of-the-state technology systems that you have launched, and how do those help on the aviation system and the passengers that use the airport?
They are quite a lot because, you know, aviation is quite wide. For instance, in air traffic control, we are able to speak to pilots using a system that is both voice and record.
Oh.
Yes. And at any one time, we are looking at a pilot who is in our airspace, but we are also guiding them on what to do, depending on the weather, depending on the circumstances on the ground.
Yeah.
And we are able to do that. That's why, and God forbid, I want to say, that's why we have continued to land safely and of course move safely in our airspace. But that's not enough. We are even able to communicate to other airspaces, both in the region and elsewhere, to make sure that we are guiding our pilots and our aircraft in a safer way. Secondly, as regards security, we are able to see anything that is in our aviation facilities, right from the search park to the offices, like my office. I can easily see anything that
What's
is
happening,
likely to cause an unlawful interference in aviation systems from my office, and high state-of-the-art X-rays, both body and otherwise scanners that are able to see everything. I don't know whether you saw our 2 fire trucks that we imported recently, customized for our needs at Entebbe International Airport. The fire truck actually is able to even fight fire on top
Of the
of a
plane.
building like that
Oh,
without moving very far. As long as it's closed, it has hose pipes that can
that
easily
project farther than
further
the normal.
and stop a fire.
Okay.
I am not sure that there is any firefighting capability in this country more than we have in our aviation facilities, and
Well,
that should be really the way.
recommendable
Yes.
indeed. Mr. Bamwesigye, last year it was reported that you were projecting to have 3.5 million passengers crossing through the international airport annually. And it has further been reported that 212,000 passengers per month, that is in arrivals and departures, do actually cross through the international airport at Entebbe. What is driving this?
No, actually, we have moved from that. Let
Oh.
me tell you. Of course, that should not excite Ugandans too much. We are seeing where we are not doing well, but we are also celebrating where we are already doing well.
Well, indeed.
In
Now,
that time, yes.
looking beyond Entebbe, we had hoped for Kabalega International Airport to be open and ready by 2024 as projected. So, why the delays? And it was reported that 95% of the airport was completed. Why aren't we yet seeing the Kabalega International Airport open to use?
For an airport to be complete, fellow Ugandans and the air aviation users, there are those facilities that must be completed, like a runway, like a terminal building. Those are actually almost fully completed. But an airport is not made only by those. You must have an air traffic control center. You must have weather uh, observation systems. You must have security setup. These are the things that are being done by government. We are not directly actually working on Kabarega, but we are the technical advisors on that. Mainstream government is working through the Ministry of Works, working on Kabarega, but we are there. We are allowing ourselves, our technical people to be there and orient it to an airport that we want to see.
Well, the other infrastructure projects like Soroti Flying School, which was promised by the president to be refurbished and fully expanded, any progress on that?
Yes, yes. We've actually received the runway at Soroti Flying School. You was asking of Soroti only. Let me tell you. There is an airport that is coming out of Karamoja, near Karenga district headquarters, for both Kidepo Valley, but also as a facility for passengers who are crossing borders to Kenya and South Sudan, and also, of course, landing in the region. Thanks to President Museveni and the government, they negotiated that with some investors from the Middle East, but we are, of course, there as technical advisors, and we are almost actually starting. I think even the contract has been identified for that airport. That is Kidepo Valley Airport. We have, of course, been working on Guru Regional Airport. It is also an AFCOM airport. We have finished the designs and estimations. I think this coming week we should be able to conclude with some grant from a company from Egypt. And that is being really supported by the Minister of Works.
Could you give us some insight on Kihihi, the international airport that was announced by the president a few weeks ago?
It's how government works. When the president announces that, it is an indication that we should come in, do studies for an airport, and implement the government program.
Well, Mr. Bamwesigye, it's a new year. You wished us a happy new year at the beginning. 2025, what are some of the prospects that we should expect for the aviation sector?
In the year, we should open the terminal building that we are almost completing, put all measures to do all other expansions, because we are not done.
Yeah.
We'll be starting another expansion towards the cargo area of something like 30,000 square meters. will be, of course, you know, we are almost done with the aprons. That's the parking areas of aircraft. If Uganda Airlines now purchased another 5 aircrafts, then we will be struggling. So we are quickly moving in to do another 35 parking area for aircrafts.
These are interesting and exciting ideas to hear. And fun fact, Mr. Bamwesigye, in the 1950s, the Entebbe International Airport, I think, was the biggest airport in Africa. And hopefully, maybe by 2030, we could
Sub-Saharan
get
Africa.
Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yes.
Exciting. Hopefully, we can get back there.
Of course,
But
I had not told you that that is the position we are trying to establish.
yeah.
Yes.
But anticipating all these ideas and the journey ahead, of course, there are some challenges that might be anticipated. What are some of those, and what could you put in place to cap them?
First of all, we have now to convince mainstream government, which
Yeah.
we work for, to make aviation a strategic objective. Because you see, we are a land locked. Other people would prefer to call it land linked. You see, we are not on the sea.
Yeah.
So what options do we have? The option we have is air transport, and we must link it to other modes of transport. Luckily, we have a big water body in Uganda, Lake Victoria. It must link with aviation and maritime to be able to coordinate transportation by air, by road, and by train. Of course, we must start them now. They may look like long-term goals,
Plans.
but we should start them as of now. The challenge is that we often find problems with land for expansion, both at Entebbe and even in regional airports. We have resorted now to work collaboratively with other authorities like PUA, like the national parks. But because you see, those is government to government. And if you see, our regional airports are most of them are located near national parks for 2 reasons. That's where tourism is,
Yeah.
and most of our passengers are tourists. So we must now expand that network and be able to get land to accommodate, because they are also beneficial to those establishments like national parks, tourist attractions. The net, the allocation, the where they are located is deliberately.
It's
near
a
these
strategic
attractions.
decision.
But most Ugandans never see that
Yeah.
as it is. We are in the business. If you cross the Entebbe International Airport, you are very likely not to see anyone in Serena.
In Serena, yes.
Very, very few people, maybe
Indeed.
political leaders, and so on and so forth.
Mr. Bamwesigye,
Yes.
that's all the time that we had today on Talk of the Nation. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ugandans, for supporting aviation. We can't thank you more for what has happened or what you have been doing to support the aviation. We don't take your appreciation of our facilities and Entebbe for granted. Even criticisms, we welcome them, and we shall always explain, because that's why we are here for.
All right.
I want to thank you once again for this opportunity.
And thank you for coming through.
Welcome.